What's going on YouTube? How you doing? I'm just saying VB here filling in for Uncle Mike while he's over in the Philippines. We're going to get into this next video. Mercedes files for divorce after DNA test proves Yandy's lies. Okay, let's get in here and see what they are talking about.
Hi, Andy. This is my husband. Don't touch me. Tell your husband don't touch me. Wait, let me. I know. Wait, wait. No, wait, wait. I know. Don't touch me. No, I don't touch me. How you don't touch me, nigga. Talk to my husband like that. What are you doing? Talk to my husband like that. Give me a hug.
Listen, why you had to jump, you Flip?
I just want to talk to you.
See, you do this again. Come on, Flip.
I want to
Flip. You're playing with the hands and you yelling. Come on.
Why you had him jump me?
I didn't have nobody jump you.
So why didn't touch me for?
You touched me. You smacked my hand.
Alright, so what, man? I give you a hug.
Come on, Flip.
No!
Come on. See,
Don't
stop.
touch me. Don't touch me. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. You touch me again. Touch me again.
It was the bombshell no one saw coming. In a shocking turn of events, Mendeecees Harris has filed for divorce after a DNA test reveals something that could shatter everything we thought we knew about his marriage to Yandy Smith Harris.
Yo, what's really good? What's really hood? Welcome to the Jamani Show. Welcome to the Jamani Show. It's your boy Jay. I got a quick question for y'all, fam. Yo, did Mendeecees allegedly beat up Jim Jones back in the days in Harlem? Did Mendeecees allegedly beat up Jim Jones in Harlem back in the days? Give me y'all perspective, man.
Okay, so Love and Hip Hop is still going on. I don't know. I know who Yandy is. I've heard her name before. I don't know nobody else. I'm just going to put that out there right now. But I have not seen Love and Hip Hop since Chrissy was on there. I think that's her name. Jim Jones, girl, wife, whatever. I don't know what their title is now, but I haven't seen Love and Hip Hop since then. So I don't know how many years ago that was, but yeah, I do remember Yandy's name. So clearly she's moved forward with this. But I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna continue to watch.
Keep it $150. Tell me how y'all feel about that. One.
The drama exploded on social media when Mendeecees dropped the bombshell that the results of a DNA test have proven that Yandy's been hiding the truth about their family for years. Fans are absolutely reeling, questioning everything they thought they knew about the couple. Was Yandy hiding a massive secret? And what does this mean for their future? Emotions ran high as Mendeecees confronted Yandy in a heated exchange, leaving us all wondering, is this the end of one of reality TV's most iconic couples? Stay tuned as we unravel this jaw-dropping scandal step by step. Mendeecees could hardly believe his eyes as he stared down at the DNA test results. His fingers...
Wait, I'm sorry. His name is Mendeecees. I said Mercedes. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Mendeecees. My bad. That's clearly I didn't know, and nobody corrected me over here on the side chat. But okay, Mendeecees. Sorry, I thought it said Mercedes. I need to slow down and read. Yes, it does say Mendeecees. Okay, I probably still would have said Mercedes because it looked close to Mercedes, but Mendeecees. Sorry, got the name wrong.
Trembled, clutching the paper as the words on it danced before his eyes. He didn't want to believe it, but the cold, hard truth was staring him right in the face. The child Yandy had been claiming was not his at all. How could this happen? How could Yandy, the woman he trusted with his heart, the woman who stood by him through thick and thin, betray him in this way? The room felt like it was closing in on him as the weight of the revelation sank in. The child, their child he thought wasn't even his. His mind raced, flashing back to all the moments he had spent with the little one, the late night feedings, the birthday parties, the family vacations. How many times had he looked into those innocent eyes and told himself he was doing the right thing by sticking by Yandy's side? He was shattered. He could hardly breathe. Without a moment's hesitation, Mendeecees stormed out of the house and into his car, his mind set on one thing: confronting Yandy. He couldn't wait any longer. He had to know why. Why had she done this? Why had she lied to him? As he drove, the anger started to build. It wasn't just about the child, it was about everything. The lies, the deception, the years of trust that had just been shattered in an instant. He didn't even know how he was going to face Yandy when he saw her. He couldn't imagine what kind of explanation could make sense of this. When he arrived at the house, the door was already open. Yandy was inside, her back turned as she prepared dinner, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Mendeecees stood in the doorway for a moment, taking a deep breath before walking inside. The tension was palpable, and he could barely keep his emotions in check. "Yandy," he called out, his voice steady but with an edge of anger creeping through. She turned to face him, her expression softening as she smiled. But that smile quickly faded when she saw the look on his face. "Mendeecees, baby, what's wrong?" she asked, stepping toward him with concern in her eyes. "I need answers, Yandy," he said coldly, holding up the DNA test results in front of her face. His hand shook as he thrust the paper toward her, his eyes burning with anger. "Explain this." Yandy's face went pale. Her smile faltered, replaced by a look of panic that she tried to hide but couldn't. She swallowed hard, taking a step back. "Mendeecees, I don't know what you're talking about." "You don't know what I'm talking about," he repeated, his voice rising. "This test says the child isn't mine. All these years you've lied to me. You've lied to all of us. How long has this been going on, Yandy? How long have you been keeping this secret from me?" Yandy opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The weight of the accusation was too much to bear. Her mind raced, but she couldn't find the right thing to say. She hadn't expected Mendeecees to find out like this, and she certainly hadn't prepared for the rage in his voice. "I didn't lie, Mendeecees," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" Mendeecees nearly shouted. "You think telling me the truth was complicated? Or is it the lies you've been feeding me that are complicated?" Yandy felt her heart drop. She knew she couldn't lie her way out of this, but the truth, the whole truth, was something she wasn't sure she was ready to face. The guilt was eating her alive, but she had to say something. Anything. "It's not like you think," she said, her voice weak. I didn't mean for it to get this far." "Didn't mean for it to get this far." Mendeecees exploded. "You've been lying to me about my own child, Yandy. I've been there for him like he's my flesh and blood, and all this time, I've been a fool." Yandy's eyes welled up with tears. She didn't know what to say. She had always prided herself on being the strong one, the one who kept everything together, but now everything was falling apart. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Instead, she just stood there, frozen, as Mendeecees turned away from her, pacing in frustration. "This is ridiculous, Yandy."
I will say the ultimate betrayal for a man from a woman is to lie about the child that you say is theirs and it's not. That's one of the ultimate betrayals, I will say. But a big shout out to the men who still decide to stay in these children's lives because they've already been in their lives and they care more about the child than the mother that has lied to them, because that's a hard situation. That's a really hard situation, and not all men would do that, and they have the right not to. That's not their child. They've been deceived or whatever. But big shout out to the ones that do, and still, take care of that child as their own. So that's a hard situation.
"I don't know what to believe anymore. I've stood by you through thick and thin, and this is how you repay me." He could hardly look at her anymore. "You've broken me." Tears streamed down Yandy's face as she tried to speak. "Mendeecees, please, I didn't know how to tell you. It wasn't like this in the beginning. I was trying to protect our family." "Protect our family?" Mendeecees cut her off, turning back around to face her. "By lying to me? By lying to our son? How could you think that was protecting anyone? Do you realize what this is doing to me? To us?" Yandy choked back a sob, her chest tightening as she tried to explain herself. But nothing she said could undo the damage that had already been done. She had kept a secret, a massive secret, for so long. And now it was all coming to light. Mendeecees was hurt, betrayed, and she could see it in his eyes. He wasn't going to let this slide. This isn't just about the test, Yandy. Mendeecees continued, his voice dark with emotion. It's about trust. Everything we've built, everything we've gone through together, it all feels like a lie now. How do I know what's real anymore? Yandy stood there, helpless, her hands shaking at her sides. She had no answer. She couldn't fix this. She could only wait for Mendeecees to decide what came next. The silence between them felt suffocating, and the air was thick with the weight of their broken bond. Do you even love me? Mendeecees asked softly, almost too softly, but the pain in his voice was undeniable. Yandy could barely breathe. This was the moment she had feared most. The moment when all her secrets came crashing down. She opened her mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come. How could she answer that? How could she make him understand? As the silence stretched on, Mendeecees turned away from her again, his voice hardening with each step he took. I can't do this anymore, Yandy. I can't keep pretending like everything is okay when it's not. I need space. I need time to think. And with that, Mendeecees walked out of the door, leaving Yandy standing in the wreckage of everything they once had. The weight of his departure crushed her, and she knew, deep down, that their lives would never be the same again. The days following Mendeecees' explosive departure were filled with nothing but chaos and confusion. Yandy was left alone in the empty house, her heart in turmoil, struggling to find any semblance of normalcy in a world that had just been turned upside down. She had never imagined that something like this could happen, not after all they had been through together. But now, with Mendeecees gone and the truth out in the open, she had no idea how to fix what was broken. Her phone buzzed constantly with messages from friends, family, and fans, all demanding answers. Everyone had their own opinion, their own theory about what had really happened. Some supported Mendeecees, claiming he was right to be angry and walk away. Others, loyal to Yandy, tried to comfort her, telling her that the truth would eventually come out and everything would be okay. But Yandy knew that the damage had already been done. There was no turning back. The moment Mendeecees left, he didn't just walk out of their home, he walked out of her life. She could feel the distance growing between them with every passing hour. He wasn't returning her calls. He wasn't responding to her texts. Yandy was losing him, and she didn't know how to stop it. The reality of the situation hit her hardest when she spoke to her mother, who had always been a steady presence in her life. Mrs. Smith was furious, her voice trembling with disbelief when Yandy told her about the DNA test results. How could you let it get this far, Yandy? Her mother demanded, pacing back and forth in the living room of Yandy's house. You lied to him, and now you've ruined everything. Do you even realize what you've done? I didn't mean for this to happen, Mom. Yandy pleaded, tears streaming down her face. I never wanted to hurt him, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. I didn't know how to tell him the truth. Her mother's eyes narrowed. And now look where we are. You've destroyed your marriage, and you've destroyed your family. You need to fix this, Yandy, and you need to do it fast. Yandy felt the pressure mounting. It wasn't just about her relationship with Mendeecees anymore. It was about everything they had worked for, their family, their future. But how could she fix something so broken? How could she undo the years of lies and betrayal that had built up over time? Meanwhile, Mendeecees was dealing with his own fallout. Friends, family, and fans were all rallying behind him, supporting him through the most painful chapter of his life. He had always been seen as the calm and collected one, the rock of the family, but now he was showing his raw, unfiltered emotions. He didn't know who to trust anymore. He didn't know what was real. One afternoon, Mendeecees met up with his brother, who had been his confidant through so many ups and downs. They sat in silence for a few moments, neither of them knowing exactly how to start the conversation. Finally, Mendeecees broke the silence. I never thought I'd be here, bro, he said, his voice low and filled with hurt. I thought I had it all. The family, the love, everything I wanted. And now, it's all a lie. His brother, sensing the depth, placed a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to explain yourself, man. We're here for you, whenever you need. I don't even know what I need anymore, Mendeecees confessed, his voice cracking with emotion. Yandy, she lied to me. I gave her everything, and she did this to me. I don't know how to look at her the same way anymore. Have you talked to her? His brother asked gently. No, Mendeecees replied bitterly. What's there to talk about? She lied, and now I'm supposed to just forgive her. I can't even wrap my head around it. I've been trying to process it, but it's eating me alive. The weight of the situation was too much for Mendeecees to handle. Every time he thought about the future, he saw nothing but a broken family and unanswered questions. Was this truly the end? Could they come back from this? Across town, Yandy was trying to make sense of her own emotions. She had never felt so alone, so lost. But one of her close friends, a confidant who had always been there for her, called to check in. Yandy, girl, what are you going to do? This whole situation has gone too far. You can't keep pretending like everything is okay when it's clearly not. I don't know what to do anymore, Yandy admitted, her voice shaking. I tried to fix it. I tried to make everything right, but I think it's too late. Mendeecees won't even talk to me. He's done with me. Her friend was silent for a moment before responding. This isn't just about you and Mendeecees anymore, Yandy. This is about the truth. It's about what's right. You need to own up to your actions, no matter how hard it is. Yandy knew her friend was right, but the truth was harder to face than anything else. She had tried to protect Mendeecees, to shield him from the past, but in the process, she had created a lie that had spiraled out of control. There was no undoing it now. The damage had been done, and the consequences were far-reaching. As the days passed, Yandy and Mendeecees' worlds continued to spiral in different directions. Mendeecees leaned on his friends and family for support, while Yandy clung to the hope that somehow, someway, she could fix the unfixable. But as the drama unfolded, the stakes grew higher. Mendeecees wasn't just dealing with the betrayal of his wife. He was dealing with the very foundation of his family being questioned. The entire public was watching, waiting to see what would happen next. Fans were divided, with some blaming Mendeecees for walking away and others defending his right to stand up for the truth. And while the world speculated about what would come of this explosive situation, one thing was clear: the drama was far from over. As the days dragged on, the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy only deepened. What had started as a shocking revelation was now a full-blown public spectacle, with fans and the media closely following every move. Social media was ablaze with comments, memes, and theories about what would happen next. Mendeecees' every post was analyzed, and Yandy's every appearance was scrutinized. It seemed like no one could escape the fallout of the DNA test drama. Mendeecees, however, was adamant that he needed space to think. He had pulled away from Yandy, from the media, from the world. He was trying to find clarity in the midst of the storm. But the questions kept haunting him. Could he ever trust Yandy again? Was it possible to rebuild what had been destroyed? The love they once shared seemed like a distant memory, overshadowed by the lies that had fractured their relationship. Meanwhile, Yandy wasn't giving up. Despite Mendeecees' distance, she was desperate to make amends. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she couldn't sit idly by and let her marriage slip away. She reached out to Mendeecees, sending messages, leaving voicemails, and even showing up at his favorite spots, hoping for a moment of reconciliation. But every attempt seemed to be met with cold indifference. He wasn't ready to face her. He wasn't ready to forgive her. One evening, after weeks of silence, Yandy received a call from Mendeecees. Her heart skipped a beat as she looked at the screen, unsure of what to expect. Would he yell at her again? Would he finally confront her about the lies? Yandy, Mendeecees' voice sounded tired on the other end. I've been thinking, a lot, about everything. Yandy's breath caught in her throat. This was the moment she had been waiting for. Mendeecees, I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. I know I hurt you. and I know I broke your trust. But please, I need you to understand, I never wanted to lose you. Mendeecees sighed deeply, the weight of the situation still pressing on him. I don't know if I can understand it, Yandy. You lied to me for so long. I can't just pretend like everything is fine. I don't know who to trust anymore. I've spent my whole life trusting the people closest to me, and now I'm questioning everything. There was a long silence between them, each of them processing the gravity of the conversation. Yandy could feel her heart breaking again as Mendeecees' words hung in the air. She knew that healing wasn't going to be quick, and it wasn't going to be easy. The damage was deep, and the road to forgiveness was uncertain. Mendeecees, I know I've lost your trust. I've broken you, and I don't expect that to be fixed overnight. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. I'm willing to fight for us, for our family. The sincerity in her voice hit him, and for a brief moment, Mendeecees was silent. His anger and betrayal were still raw, but there was something in Yandy's words that resonated with him. The woman he had loved for years, the mother of his children, was asking for another chance, a chance to rebuild what they had lost. I don't know if I'm ready for that, Mendeecees admitted quietly, but I'm willing to try. I can't promise things will go back to the way they were, but I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to listen. Yandy felt a flicker of hope ignite in her chest. It wasn't a promise of reconciliation, but it was a start, a glimmer of light at the end of a very dark tunnel. The next few weeks were filled with emotional conversations, late-night talks, and intense therapy sessions. Mendeecees and Yandy both faced their demons, trying to navigate the mess they had created. The lies, the hurt, the mistrust. It was a painful journey, but they were both determined to find a way forward. Their family, too, was affected by the fallout. The kids could sense the tension between their parents, and Yandy's mother continued to push for her daughter to make things right. But Mendeecees wasn't rushing into anything. He had been hurt too deeply, and the scars ran too deep for him to just jump back into a happy family narrative. Yet, as the days went on, there were small steps forward. Mendeecees agreed to spend more time with Yandy to see if they could rebuild their relationship. They started to share more, to communicate better. And while things weren't perfect, not even close, there was an understanding between them that they both wanted something more than the pain they had been living in. But the scars would remain. The trust that was once so solid now had cracks, and it would take years to fully heal. The road ahead would be long and uncertain, with many more challenges. But for the first time in months, both Mendeecees and Yandy felt like they had a real chance, at rebuilding their life together. As for the public, the story continued to unfold. Fans still watched closely, eager to know what would happen next. Would Mendeecees and Yandy be able to put the pieces of their broken marriage back together? Or would this be the end of their relationship? No one could say for sure, but one thing was clear, the drama wasn't over yet. The fallout from the DNA test scandal has shaken the very foundation of Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage, leaving fans around the world on the edge of their seats. As the couple struggles to find their way back to each other, the question remains, will they be able to repair the damage caused by years of lies? Or will this be the end of one of reality TV's most iconic couples? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Mendeecees and Yandy can rebuild their relationship, or is it too late? Drop a comment below and let us know how you feel about the drama that's unfolded. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated on the latest twists.
So yeah, so what do you guys think? I don't really know a lot about this relationship. I know Yandy's name just from way back with the other Love and Hip Hop with Chrissy and Jim Jones, I think it was. I don't really know what's going on here, but looks like, you know, basic everyday issues. Like these things happen to people every single day, and, you know, definitely any type of betrayal is difficult for people to get over. You know, I said earlier that, you know, if you're married, or on a different video, if you're married, you know, it's work. So, you know, anything that you know, any marriage that's made it, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that means they were working 20, 40, 50 years. And I'm sure if you sit down with your grandparents or your aunties and uncles that have been married for that long, they will tell you some stories of some stuff that'll make your jaw drop. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully they'll be able to work things out, or, if not, like I said, for a man to find out that a child is not his is one of the ultimate betrayals. But big up to all the men that decide to put the children first and still stay in that child's life, because it's not the child's fault. So, we'll see what they decide to do. That's their, family business. But I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike, and I'm just saying VB told you so. Bye, guys.